Welcome to episode 3 of Just Joe King podcast. I'm your host, King, and I'm here with my main man, Joe.
What is the deal?
Hey, man, what is the deal? We are on episode 3, and for the listeners out there that listen to episode 2, I'm going to start off by apologizing. I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to anyway. We got progress over perfection over here. Working on the audio, trying to make this thing a better product for you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we're about to rock with it.
Yeah.
So we're sitting here, man, and we've had some nasty weather come through in February. I blame it on Tom Brady winning his 7th Super Bowl. The man is 40-some years old enough to be some of his teammates' fathers out here winning Super Bowls. And look what happened. We get this nasty weather that's about to roll in. Texas has seen more snow than I can ever recall in my lifetime it ever seen. And it's crazy out there, man.
It's super crazy. Like, I think the most, because when I was stationed in Texas, I think 1 year out of 6, we got like a dusting. And there was a little bit of snow on the ground, which to me at that time, I was like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But now what they're dealing with and what they're going through, man, it's insane.
Insane. I bet some of those people that are getting snow have probably never seen snow in their lifetime, or they moved to Texas thinking that it's going to be, all sunshine and dry heat.
Yeah.
But that's not what they're seeing. How's your past week been, man?
It's been good. I mean, life, work, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't complain too much, I suppose. I'm still here. I'm still breathing.
That's what's up. That's pretty much me as well. Whenever I'm not doing my main job, I'm out Ubering, I'm out door dashing, I'm out here trying to get this money. My goal for my goal for 2021 is to be debt free. Now, that's a tough goal because when I say debt free, I'm talking completely debt free, but it's a revision. It's debt free minus my car payment. There's no way I can pay everything off plus my car this year, but I'm working towards it, man. Getting out there grinding and hustling, brother.
I mean, everybody's got to hustle. You know what I mean? You got yours, and it just happens to be quite a few things. My hat goes off to you, man. I can't do that sort of thing.
Why is that?
Well, remember our last conversation? I deal with a lot of putting shit to the side and trying to filter out all the unnecessary stress and nonsense from my life. So one profession is more than enough for me. I can't really manage or juggle multiple jobs and stuff like that. Like, doing this on the side from what I already do is already enough for me, which doesn't seem like a lot. We're just sitting here bullshitting, but it's still it's an obligation that's outside of my normal stuff.
Did you hear about the country music singer Morgan Wallen and what happened?
He was the one who dropped an N-bomb, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I heard about that guy.
His sales went up afterwards.
Oh, now see,
he didn't get canceled.
See, that I don't know why I'm not surprised. Like, that's a shame that I'm not surprised. Like,
right?
I actually would have made a joke. I think I had it keyed up for a joke if this topic came up, that watch his sales go up. And that's a fucking shame. Like that, man.
The guy has an altercation. Now, for those of y'all listening that might not know, Morgan Wallen is a country music star or whatnot. I don't follow that genre that well. I had never heard of him.
Yeah, it's not really my thing.
But there was a video of him getting into an altercation with some people, and it was caught on somebody's Ring cam or webcam or something.
Something like that.
And dude dropped the N-bomb, and it's kind of interesting to me because a lot of times that stuff like that gets followed by the cancel culture.
Yeah.
But brother didn't get canceled. He saw an immediate kind of backlash that happened.
Yeah.
But then his sales went up.
Yeah. See, and I'm not a huge fan of cancel culture anyways.
Ooh.
And I say that only because, like I said in one of our previous episodes, I believe in growth and change. I believe people can make mistakes and grow from them. But this was like 2 weeks ago. This isn't like this dude said something or tweeted something 10 years ago and he's changed.
Yeah.
This is very clearly a very recent thing. And who knows, maybe in 5 years he'll change. But the response for it from for right now, that's shocking. But also not. You know, like I had the joke lined up for watch your sales go up.
I would have liked I had known if prior to that in some type of interview, because I don't even know how this would naturally come up. You know, because the way he said it was like he says the word every single day.
It came natural to him.
It came so natural to him.
See, I think that says a lot about a person too.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to excuse somebody who just randomly drops that, but I feel like if you're going to use that word, it's because you use that word more than once. I mean, I wouldn't just randomly say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious on somebody. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't just naturally come up unless it's some shit that I say all the time. And very clearly, I have.
Yeah.
Because I've watched fucking the movies with my girls. But a word like that, there's no proper usage or time for it. So if you're going to use it, it's because you use it. You know what I mean? It's not because you just pulled that rabbit out of the hat. So, I mean, I think that says a lot about a person. I mean, it should.
You know, I agree. I also have to tell you, man, I'm a little bit conflicted. Dare I say, is this a tendentious topic here? The reason why I asked, thank you, sir. Hey, I told you I was going to try to bring it back.
I like you brought that back.
Because I've said the word. I have filtered it out of my vocabulary.
Yes.
Because I grew up listening to rap, where rap lyrics include, and this topic is always going to be talked about, man. You've seen the one TV show with Delroy Lindo where he was playing a guy that was being interviewed, and then he kind of checked the reporter, you know, for talking about this word as well.
Yeah.
And he was like, say it. Hey, you know, go ahead and say it. I can't think. It's a show on HBO. Man, I'll have to come back to it.
Yeah, we'll have to come back to that.
But in real life, though, this topic is still something that I don't know if we'll ever have a right answer to it. Because you can have a song that has the word in it.
Multiple times.
And you mean to tell me that if somebody is a fan of that song or hip-hop,
they can't actually sing the lyric.
They can't actually say the lyric?
Yeah. So that's the thing, is it brings a lot of questions up when you think about the fact that it is such a contentious word.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's one of those words where if somebody drops it who's not black, the room falls silent. And some shit's about to go down. Like, that's how powerful that word is. Now, from, you know, being a non-black or African-American person, I automatically assume if a non-black person says it, they're about to get their ass beat. Because, I mean, it means that bad. You know, it's that bad a word. But when I hear a black person say it, I know that it's just a normal thing.
Yeah.
I grew up in the projects in Queens. I used to say that word. But I could only say that word when referring to my friends in a friendly way. You know what I mean? No hard R's.
No, yeah.
No
There's
hard
a
R's.
between the A and the R.
Exactly. Like, I think when you finally figure that out, that'll help you understand what's the right way to say it and what's the wrong way to say it. Although if you're not black, pretty much there's no right way to say it. But in my neighborhood with the people I grew up with, it was okay because I had their respect. They understood that I wasn't saying it with a hard R or anything crazy. But ultimately, when I left that neighborhood, I knew the other people around me would not accept that I was saying that word.
Gotcha.
And let me tell you, it was in my vocabulary. Like, anytime I referred to people, like now I refer to people as dudes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This dude. Because it used to be the other word. And that looks crazy coming out of a person like me's mouth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but when I was a kid, it was perfectly normal because people knew I was Hispanic. And a lot of times you're lumped in with everybody else when you're Hispanic. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things.
Gotcha.
So, you know, growing up with these people, growing up with my friends, we were all the same. So we all treated each other the same. Like, that's probably the least racist thing I've experienced in my life was growing up as a kid in a black and Hispanic neighborhood and being treated by the blacks and Hispanics like one of them, even though for a lot of Hispanics I wasn't even accepted because I was so white. But
you are, man. You are pasty pale.
White. Yeah. Yeah, I need to go outside. You know, it's crazy.
Go get some sun, man.
It's crazy to think that as a Hispanic I need to tan. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where it's like, but why? Shouldn't you have some of that melanin in your skin or something? You know what I mean? Not me. Nope.
Speak any Spanish?
I did long time ago in a land far, far away. I spoke it mostly with my grandmother because she never spoke English. I mean, she spoke Spanish till the day she died. So I spoke it mostly with her. My parents, like I said in the previous, is they taught me English first because they didn't want me to be at a disadvantage.
Gotcha.
So I didn't learn Spanish until I was like almost a teenager. And when my grandmother died, I didn't really have anybody to speak it with because my family doesn't really speak Spanish to each other. So it just kind of faded out for me.
How about your family? Because your wife is German. Do your kids speak German? Is she teaching that dialect to them or to you as well in the household?
Very, very slowly.
Okay.
Like, we haven't like sat and tried to teach our kids the languages that both of us our countries. But here and there, we throw out words or tell them how to say certain things. And we teach them about our cultures where we can to help them understand that they're a part of two very rich cultures. So we want them to pick up those languages eventually. We're not good teachers in that respect. I mean, we're good teachers in other respects, but not in language.
How are y'all handling COVID and everything with your kids anyway, and this online learning? Well, actually, let me back that up. Are they doing online learning or in class right now?
So as we record this tomorrow, weather permitting, they're supposed to start their first day of hybrid learning.
Oh, snap. All
so
right.
I'm on the fence about how I feel about hybrid. I don't think kids should be in close proximity to each other.
Still?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just so... it's not so much that I don't trust the school to do the right thing. I don't trust the other parents to do the right thing.
Amen. Yeah.
Because, I mean, and you know, hear me out. I want to believe everybody's a good person, but if people couldn't take time off of work and sent their kids to school sick in the past, I wouldn't put them past them doing it again. It doesn't matter what COVID is. You know what I mean? For them, it's just like the flu. They don't give a shit. So my fear is my kids getting sick.
Gotcha.
And we ultimately, we had a, conversation, and the kids, they need that interaction with other kids. Good, bad, or ugly, it doesn't really matter. They need that interaction. Like, my oldest kind of got bullied a lot.
Yeah.
But even still, she misses the kids that she knows. So we thought it would be a good thing for them to go to school once or twice a week and get that FaceTime with the teacher and with their friends, however that may be. I mean, it's probably masked up the whole time, and, it's... But they're doing a lot to try to keep the kids safe.
Got you.
So, I mean, I'm just going to play it by ear. The minute there's a sniffle from somebody in that school, I don't care. If it's the janitor and he's never around the kids, those kids are getting pulled, though. I'm not going to run the risk.
Back in November, my kid's mom and I made the decision to initially go hybrid as well.
Yeah.
We've been in... What changed our minds is exactly what you said. It's like, well, we know how we handle protocol on our side.
Yeah.
But what about some of these other people?
Yeah.
And I can't say for certainty that I wouldn't even say over 60%, I believe, are doing the right thing.
Yeah. You got to think too, and let me step back a little bit on this one. Not everybody has the capability or ability to keep their kids home. Maybe they can't afford it. Maybe it's a single parent and they don't have the babysitter or something. There's lots of reasons. So I'm not saying everybody's just a bad person for allowing their kids or letting their kids still go to school if their kid's a little sick. I think everybody at some point has done that either not thinking the kid was sick or thinking it's not that big a deal, or you got something important going on. Because when you say it out loud, it sounds a lot like child abuse. But, I think people have done that. Because I know my parents did that with me.
Oh, same here.
Yeah. I don't do that with my kids because my wife has the capability to stay home with the kids.
Yeah.
But I know when I was a kid, I went to school sick a few times that my parents made me,
There was an article that came out today, and I was actually going to talk about it. So this is the way you kind of led into this is perfect, man.
Yeah.
So the article is mom arrested for leaving children alone to go to work.
Oh.
An Ohio woman was arrested and faces 2 charges of child endangerment charges for leaving her children alone to go to work to try to support them.
Yeah.
The lady, Miss Bell, who is 24 years old, was arrested after leaving her 2 daughters, ages 10 and 2, in a Motel 6 room to go work at a local pizza shop.
Oh, she's already struggling. I mean, listen to that scenario.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, a 2-year-old, man.
Yes.
That's.
I can say the 10-year-old, cool.
Yeah.
But the 10 with the 2,
yeah.
I'm not sure.
I mean, legally, there's no real way around that.
And see,
2 is too young.
State laws differ in how old and how long you can leave your kids home.
Right.
I don't know what the laws are in her state in Ohio, but I was looking this up, and in Maryland it's 8.
Yeah.
You can leave your kids alone for 8 up to, I forget it's 8 hours, and there's like a safety component with it as well.
8 at 8 hours? That scares me. Just the thought of it.
Yes. According to the rest of this article, she reportedly told officers that she would usually have someone check on her kid every hour while she worked. She was arrested last week and was released out on bail that very next day. The article is reporting that the children were turned over to their father. There was a GoFundMe page that was started that was initially looking to raise $5,000, but as of Wednesday morning, today, it has raised more than $80,000. Now, let me start here. Why was the kid not with the father in the first place?
Yeah, what's the deal there?
What's the deal there? Exactly.
Yeah.
And
because I mean, she very clearly is in a bad spot.
Yes, absolutely.
That's a tough spot to be in.
Mm-hmm.
The kids were in a Motel 6. I mean, why are they there?
Yep.
So I mean, I don't know that giving them to the dad's a safer option. Ultimately, it's one of those things where what's going on? There has to be a better look at this situation.
Do you think legally that the DA or that the state is going to go after?
I think it depends. I think, first off, how did they find out? So it must have been. It must have been a crime. The 10-year-old couldn't handle the 2-year-old, and the 2-year-old maybe cried too much or something, or somebody who knew about the situation, like the husband, maybe.
Ooh.
Calling her out to get her in trouble for leaving for some reason. You know what I mean? And that's not to bad talk the husband either, because I mean, obviously this is a suboptimal situation. You don't want stuff like this happening. People shouldn't have to be in these situations. This is fucking America. You know what I mean? It's not some, half demolished dystopian world. You know what I mean? We're in one of the best nations on the planet. Well, that's arguable. But we're in a prosperous nation. Why do people have to struggle this hard to survive,
I have a very unpopular thought about planned parenting. There's a reason why I only have one kid.
Okay.
I knew I only really wanted to be able to afford one child.
Yeah.
The cost of raising a kid from 0 to 18 is just mad expensive.
It's astronomical. Yeah.
And I just knew that if I added more mouths to feed to that, I'm just selfish. Let me just throw that on Jump Street. your boy is selfish. And
frugal, maybe. Let's go with frugal.
Frugal, selfish, tomato. I did not want to give additional liberties to have to support more than one kid.
Okay.
And my daughter, I love her to death. She knows that. And it's pretty obvious for people that know me, and if you follow my social media, that, like, I give my kid everything.
Yeah.
But I also can afford to give her
Of course, yeah.
everything.
Well, you work hard enough to do it.
I don't have to. And two, I've never been a guy that understood how you split up how you love somebody at that role. Meaning that, like, when I was married, I had my one wife, all right?
Yeah, of course.
When I have my one child that has one personality, and I know how to, like, tend to that personality.
Yeah.
And this is something that I've been talking to my therapist about too, is if I had more than one kid,
how would you manage that?
How to manage different personalities as a father to two very different personalities.
It's challenging.
That can expect different things from me as their father.
It's challenging. I tell you, I got two at home right now, and they could not be more different.
Yeah.
Like it's one has a behavioral disorder, for lack of a better word. I hate disorder, but she has a behavioral condition, and it makes her a very different child than my other child who does not have a behavioral condition. That doesn't mean she behaves, but she just doesn't have a title to what she is. She's just a kid. And the concept of loving them, no matter how different they are, remains the same. So you just haven't experienced it to understand that you have the capability to do that. Absolutely.
See, my therapist said the same thing.
Yeah, because the first child I had, I thought I could never love another child like I did my first child. Then I had my first child with my current wife. And then I had my second child with my current wife. And each time I realized I could love more than I thought I was capable of. And for each one of them, I want nothing but everything for them. And I treat them each differently than the other, but ultimately with the same goal in mind. It just becomes a question of approach.
Okay.
Like you go out on a mission, or you're getting ready to go out on a mission, you sit with your team and you plan it out, and you come up with contingencies.
Yeah.
It's the same concept. You realize that you can't enter the door through the room through the front door, so you got to come around the side, or you got to rip down a wall just to get in. You know what I mean? So you learn to navigate parenthood.
Okay.
Parenthood isn't really a fire and forget thing. There's nuance to all of it.
Yeah.
But it makes sense once they start talking and moving and becoming independent to their small degrees over time, everything starts to come into focus and makes more sense. And do therapy, dude, because like they'll help you understand how to talk to two unreasonable creatures who just want to eat all your shit and wreck your house. You know what I mean? Like they love you in a way that you can't possibly guess that somebody would ever love you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they are trying to destroy you mentally. But I mean, that's kids though. They're kids. Their whole job is to test you and to push you to be better, I suppose. But you ultimately love them the same.
Yes.
Like we have a joke in our house that each one of us has a different favorite.
Okay.
And I don't think that means we love one over the other one. It's I think we connect with one over the other. But it also reflects in the way the kids love us back. Like they very clearly have favorites. And if they're allowed to have a favorite, then I'm allowed to have a favorite.
Yeah.
No, but I don't know, kids help you redefine you. You know what I mean? Like it puts things into perspective, and it flexes a muscle you didn't know you even had.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had something happen to me over this past weekend, and it was one of those things that kind of, it bothered me a bit, but I talked it out, and now I'm better about it. So the way that my parenting agreement is, is that my daughter primarily lives with her mom, and then I have her every other weekend. And then during the summer, I get her full time during the summertime, and then she's with her mom every other weekend.
That's
now,
cool.
I'm fortunate in that currently I live 5 minutes down the road from her, right? And I had this thing because of her doing school and everything that she would check in with me every day, you know, just to say hey and make sure that she's doing okay and different things like that. Well, I was the one that was primarily doing it, and I said, you know what? Is it my job as the dad to be the one, or should she be calling me and reaching out to me from time to time? So I made a conscious decision to not be the first one to be the initiator, because it was never agreed or talked about like this is mandatory, like this is what's going to happen. But I want to see if she was going to reach out to me.
Yeah.
So last Tuesday, not the Tuesday that was yesterday, but the Tuesday prior, that was the last time that I had reached out and said anything. Now, me and her mom and my daughter have a group text together where we just kind of talk about random things, try to plan things together to keep that communication, you know, pretty decent.
That's pretty cool.
Well, the weekend comes up. I hadn't heard from my daughter since Wednesday.
Ooh.
And it's Sunday and it's Valentine's Day. Now, she knows, and everybody that knows me, and we talked about it in the last podcast, I don't do Valentine's Day.
Nah.
That's not a thing for me. So I was out doing Uber and DoorDash and getting a haircut as well on that Sunday. And my daughter sends me a text message after not hearing from her since Wednesday and says, Dad, would you be willing to buy me food and chocolate today? My immediate reply back to her without even hesitating was, first of all, hi to you as well, since I haven't talked to you in a few days. Yes, I am willing to buy you food and chocolate, but it would be nice for you to check in with me before you make a request. And I put that in the group chat with her and her mom.
Okay.
And her mom had co-signed. It was like, yes, Castle, your dad is right. If you hadn't spoke to him in a couple of days, you can't just come off the rip and say, hey, you know, please get me something if you're willing.
Yeah.
So I got her the food. I got her the chocolate, just a regular chocolate bar. That's just kind of our thing. Like I'll just show up over her house with one time because I know she likes it, right?
Yeah.
So when I get there, she comes outside and she comes to the door, and without prompting, she comes and she says, hey, father, because that's what she hey, dad or father, very formal. I like it. She understands the concept of respect, though. Yeah. But she did come to me and she said, I'm sorry. You were right. How was your week? Aww. You know, so then we just had a quick little chat or whatnot in the car. And she said, in the future, I'll try and do better. I was like, that's
good.
Great. Thank you. You know, awesome. I was like, that's
all you can ask for.
I said, look, that is all I can ask for. I said, look, now I know you, so I know that it's not like you wasn't thinking about me. Yeah. You know, so I said, so I'm not trying to make you feel bad or anything. I said, but I am teaching you too that if there's how you cultivate the relationships that you have with people is you lead with that first, do a check-in, and then if you have a request, slide that in after. But, you know, that was one of the things that when I was getting divorced, that was the main part that I was afraid of, was just my daughter's development with me not being, you know, in the house full time. Yeah. You know, and that's what scares me the most about, and I'm doing air quotes, co-parenting. Yeah. Is that I'm big on respect. I'm not even going to say I'm super big on discipline because I'm not the most disciplined man that I know. But respect for me is like huge. And my daughter knows that about me as well. So for me, a successful raising of a child revolves putting somebody out in the world that understands respect. Yeah. Do you, and I'm not even sure if I should ask you this, but I'm going to ask you, do you struggle with the fact that your oldest kid is not around you?
I do.
And in what way?
Well, this is going to come off harsh, but I did.
Okay.
So my situation is very complex. In that it's not really that complex.
I'm confused.
Yeah. So I have only seen my daughter, my oldest, one time in about 15 years. I saw her when she was 1, and then I didn't see her again in person until she was 14.
Okay.
Lots of things went into that. Her mom is the gatekeeper, and that's really all there is on that.
Yeah.
I haven't lived in the same state as them since she was about 1 year old, so it became very difficult to try to manage anything. But when the ability came to be able to travel or bring the child, like, you know, she was old enough to take a trip, you know, with the chauffeur or something, the decision was made to not allow me to see her. So, you know, I pay child support. I do everything I'm supposed to. I used to communicate with her, but recently some stuff went down, like not negative stuff.
Gotcha.
Like good stuff for them. But as soon as that finished, I haven't heard from them again.
Okay.
Either one of them.
I can tell that this is a tough topic for you, brother.
It is what it is. I'm a little subdued today anyways.
Gotcha.
Per our last conversation, I'm not my normal amped up self.
Word.
So, a little subdued today.
And you're over there wearing the Hulk shirt.
Hulk smash.
All right. Let's go into something else. Let's get into the what the hell news story for the podcast.
Love this part.
All right. Can you think of a reason or a way that a 7-year-old boy would say these words? I almost thought I was going to be a mashed potato. What would be the circumstances that would lead to a 7-year-old recalling and saying words like that?
I mean, the possibilities are endless. Like, I could imagine some Willy Wonka scenario happening with the 7-year-old.
7-year-old boy.
I mean, their imaginations are wild as it is. He could have been on the playground. He could have been in a parking lot. He could have been on a Jurassic Park ride. You just don't know, you know?
All right. Well, every time I bring up these articles to talk about the podcast, to talk about in the podcast, it always comes from one state. And I don't intend for it to come from this state because I plan on moving to this state myself. But a Florida boy,
of course,
attempted to hide in a trash can, almost turned tragic when that trash can was picked up by a garbage truck and nearly sent into the choppers as the blades turned on.
Yo, that is scary, man.
The driver just so happened to notice and spotted the boy in the truck's surveillance camera and rushed to turn the systems off that saved that boy's life.
Jesus. Wow, that is that's the makings of a horror movie, man.
A horror movie. The traumatized people involved in that. Not just that boy's family, but that driver that may have saw that and acted too late.
Yeah.
Or, you know, had it happen and then it's found out after the fact that it was on his shift.
Ooh.
Just that type of
that would have been
traumatic thing to see.
That would have been the end of 2 lives that day. You know, the little boy, obviously, and that would have been horrific, but that man would have lost his career. You know what I mean? He would have been, they'd have hung him out to dry on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Thank God he saw that kid, man.
Man,
Holy crap.
absolutely. And I'm glad that technology worked in the way that it's intended.
Yeah.
You know, because what if, because I don't know that job. So what if he's required to look into those cameras every single time it turns on to whatnot?
I mean, he will now.
Sometimes that can be repetitive.
Yeah.
And you may, you know, get distracted or something. Your cell phone goes off, so you want to see what the cell phone has real quick, or, you know, I'm not going to say that on the podcast, but you and you know, you get distracted by something that walks by.
Something happens.
And he misses that.
Oof. See, that's just, you never thought that it was a trash man?
Yes.
Who would have thought that the trash man has to worry about that kind of level of shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I can understand a doctor having control over whether somebody lives or dies, but a trash guy probably never in his life thought he'd have to stop his machine before some kid randomly gets munched up. Ooh, yeah,
man.
That's definitely a what the hell.
Definitely a what the hell. But this story ends good.
That's good.
He only had a minor cut, and it said a minor cut, so just one, according to this article anyway, and a lifelong aversion to a certain household item. He is quoted as saying, "I don't like trash cans anymore." So that's the what the hell story for today. And there's a pretty cool picture. I'm going to put a link here for the YouTube channel that is going to show the boy and the trash can driver,
That's cool.
truck driver,
Trash truck driver.
taking a picture together, both
That's cool.
holding up like a peace sign or whatnot.
Yeah, there's been a lot of trash dudes saving people's lives. Did you see the two guys who helped that Amber Alert child?
No.
Yeah, these two gentlemen were driving their trash truck and they saw the vehicle.
Okay.
And I wish I had my computer up like you have yours. And I can't remember what state it was in, man. But trash dudes be saving lives out there, man.
You know,
They're first liners, man.
Sanitation workers, to me, don't get the respect that they deserve, because what people don't understand about their work, and I didn't as a kid or a teenager, but when you understand like public health and public safety, and a lot that kind of goes into that, proper disposal of, you know, trash, garbage, junk, whatever,
Very important.
is very important, not just on the environment if you're like somebody that's an environmentalist or anything like that, but just your overall health in general, to be able to allow you to have resources that you can use to flourish and, you know, hopefully live longer.
Yeah.
So those guys don't get the proper, to me, they don't get their proper due. So shout out to all of the sanitation workers out there.
Yeah, straight up.
Doing their thing.
Especially being one of the people who's been around burning trash in places where there is no sanitation.
Yeah.
It is not pretty, man. And it sticks with you, literally.
Well, hey, man, we've made it through episode 3.
Nice.
Progress over perfection, brother.
Nice.
Now, I typically don't know how to end these. So what do you have for us to take us out on episode 3 of our podcast?
Let's do this. The weather's really bad outside right now, people, and we have people we know and we love in these different places. Let's reach out to them, see if they're okay, see if we can help them in some way. Get them out of there if you can. Put a friend up in your house for a week while they're waiting on the power to come back or something like that. Do what you can to help each other out. We're all we got. So let's be good to each other, okay?
I will co-sign on that one, brother. It's been the Just Joking podcast, and we're out.